Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I am casting quite a severe shadow on her. We'll live. Journey. You've never played it.
I haven't, no.
Helps if I turn sound up for both of us. Still not hearing anything.
No.
Probably will when we actually start the game though. No Tim this week to do the Dark Souls stream. So here is Will.
Hello.
Who you wanna? Yeah. Has presumably just come from lunch.
I had. It can be called a sandwich.
So you're not a Sony person at all.
Sorry?
You're not a Sony person at all.
Never really had much exposure to it.
Yeah.
Never been a whole lot of games I've really liked the look of.
You've been Nintendo and PC mostly. I think it's been a couple of DHs, but primarily Nintendo and
Exactly.
PC. Emphasis on PC, really.
Yeah.
And Journey is PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, that game company, which is their name, very helpfully, slightly confusing. In general, their first 3 games were Sony exclusive, and their 4th isn't even out yet, and we don't know if that's going to be Sony exclusive or not.
Right.
But Journey, widely regarded as one of the best games ever made.
Oh, yes.
Might actually slightly ruin it going with it through it with someone else because it's, all about the experience. But we'll see.
I can't deny I have had exposure to it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You watched other people play it, or
I have watched people stream it once.
okay? Well, you've got a rough idea of what to expect then. So you just hit start.
You just keep on moving forwards. Start on here.
Well, you can just press the X button. It's just because it said
Oh, right.
the start thing is on the screen.
Ah.
There we go.
I'm used to it being an A.
Yeah, that will be slightly odd for you at first. Those symbols do actually mean something.
Oh, yes.
They've never really obeyed it since the console was released. But the point was, triangle
Okay.
is meant to represent as in someone looking.
All right.
Square is a piece of paper, so that would be your map or your menu.
I can see the logic.
Circle is yes, and cross is no.
That is fairly straightforward, I've got to admit.
The problem being that circle for yes, cross for no is a very Japanese thing, and in the majority of Europe and American games, you select with cross.
Yeah. You put a tick or a cross in the box.
Yeah. So, beautiful, beautiful opening screen. I presume you pressed cross for new game. Yes, you did.
I don't know, I thought I pressed O.
This isn't resume, so... Oh, yes it is. You've resumed. If you actually look down here, I have 1 trophy. And that is return.
Ah.
And the reason for that is... That trophy is after a week-long break. I played this game on PlayStation 3.
Oh.
As someone who had it on PlayStation 3, I got it for free on PlayStation 4.
That's good of them.
So first thing I'm going to need to do is close application. We'll start it again.
Let's try this again.
Yeah. So the return achievement was when I booted it up earlier to check that the stream would work. That's it. That's all I've got of it. All the time I've got in it.
It's slightly more than a week.
Yeah. Well, I sold my PlayStation 3
a few months back, wasn't
it?
it?
Several months ago.
April sort of.
Because I just wanted to clear some space. In some ways I regret that. There are some games I'd like to go back to, but most of them have been re-released. Like games these days get re-released every...
I mean, these days you just got to assume that within 5, at a push 10, you're going to see an HD remake.
You skip past that. This as a title screen is beautifully atmospheric.
It tells you everything and nothing about the game.
Yeah, it tells you it takes place in a desert. Shout if you want your audio adjusted. I have separate volume knobs. So, cross for new journey. Yes, you want to, because that save is actually from my PlayStation 3.
Oh, really?
I assume, because I don't have any of the achievements for having played it on PlayStation 4. I don't remember playing it.
That should be interesting.
So, new game.
So, no tracks, so no sand people.
This is a really close-up image of the desert. This game is... I actually changed the stream settings back to 1080p for this game, because this game is gorgeous in its simplicity. So that was your title screen. Soundtrack is beautiful.
Yeah, that orchestra is very Japanese.
I do apologise, but there is some horrible sound distortion caused by the way we get our audio. Hello. Hello. That's you. I'm actually going to turn this around to take some deviation off the headphone sockets. Hopefully that will sound better, but I don't know if it will.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to say this right off the bat because this nearly sold me on not playing this game. You don't have to use the motion controls.
Thank goodness.
We might have to pause though, because now when you start to move around, it'll tell you what to do. Now it'll tell you to change your camera in a second, or at least it should. But we might need to change that because it's set up for me.
Of course, and you have it inverted.
And I play full invert and you don't.
Because that's how your brain works.
Yeah, we've covered this many times before. On streams with Dark Souls, because I bring it up every time in Dark Souls stream, it's like, the controls work! I mean, it's a beautiful start to the game as well. It's like, where do you go? Well, it's the only thing there.
You go for the first point you can see.
And you get this reveal. So that, what you're looking at now, is the only text in the entire game.
Interesting.
Everything else is told through gameplay and iconography. Like you had the thing, it just had a picture of the controller and a highlighted analog stick. It didn't tell you what to press or what the control did. That was all it told you.
It's definitely literal. Well, I think we head over there, don't we? Whee.
Are you already having camera problems there?
No, that was actually me just testing.
Okay.
That seems fine. I can adapt.
Alright.
Generally, I can.
That's fair enough.
Generally.
So this is also a beautiful piece of iconography in that it's a case of, this is very, it looks a lot like graves.
Yeah, that...
It's not clear whether they are. I mean, I'd assume they are.
I mean, lumps of stone with what looked to be some sort of text, weathered away by the sand. That's probably going to be a grave.
Probably. But you can see from the buildings that you've got destroyed there that the ground level used to be a lot lower. So either are these really tall graves, they were buried much later?
Or are they buried just beneath the sand? I mean, to me, there must have been some sort of cataclysm. Surely.
I guess we find out.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we approach one of the most interesting mechanics in this game. So your scarf is glowing.
Hold X. Nice.
You can see your scarf. As you hold X, the amount of light goes down.
Yep.
So the interesting thing about this is jumping as a limited resource.
Which does make a sort of sense as well.
I mean, visually, this game is just stunning.
I mean, you can only go to the buildings. There's nothing to lure you. Well, that's not the building over there, but if you look around, there's desolate nothing.
Extra credits. The people who do lots of game discussions on YouTube did a thing about this game, and they discussed. They compared this to the hero's journey, the classical literature thing, which obviously this game is harping on a lot. I mean, it's even the name is Journey. And one of the things in the journey is the how the hero's journey always starts is with a denial of the call, someone trying to resist. And you're actually slightly unusual in this, but you are doing this for stream's sake. You are talking to someone. But what most people do at the very start of this game is they try and walk out into the desert to see what happens.
Really?
And that's used as an analogy to the hero's the denial of the call from the hero's journey.
No, you don't want to give me. Don't want to be friends.
You already charged.
Ah, of course.
Big blob in the sand.
Yes, there's the... Now you can definitely tell it's just sand piled up.
Yeah, because you can see that the structures used to be bigger.
More than a dusting. Oh, out of charge.
Yeah, you can't jump. Because you jumped when you were next to the people, so you didn't recharge off them.
Ah.
You used power rather than absorbed it from them.
Let's explore nonetheless.
Ooh, will it tell you what to do? Have you tried pressing all of your buttons yet?
No, I've only...
Oh, yeah, it does say what to do. Actually, there was some text there.
Ah.
I was wrong. But
Well, that certainly answers things.
and that's your explanation, as it were.
Visual storytelling, who'd have thought?
But here's another interesting thing. If you press that again and hold it, you get a symbol.
Ah.
They faded now, but if you looked, each one of those
Yes, they had it.
they had a symbol on them. And those symbols are player unique.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when you get to the point where you meet other players,
Yeah.
they will have a different symbol to you.
So each and every one is unique.
Mm-hmm.
That's unexpected.
I love that your feet are just like points.
I don't know if that makes for travelling through sand.
I would imagine it would make it much worse, but I think it's just an aesthetic choice.
Do I go up onto there or down to there? Makes sense to go for the high point.
I mean, the whole point of this game is it's your choice.
Exactly. Ooh, hello.
And here you encounter
Resistance.
the resistance to the call. Your attempt to do what you want to do rather than follow the hero's journey,
Mm.
and you can't.
Hey! Well, damn. More symbols there.
More symbols.
No action from those. Clearly a dice of some sort here, though. Fascinating.
Scar friends.
Why, thank you. Ooh, trapped scarf friends. They don't seem happy.
Crap.
No, they're not reacting on this side.
This is quite interesting for me to watch because obviously I've played this through a few times, so
Of course.
I've actually kind of forgotten the exploration of these sorts of areas because I know what to do.
Ah.
So to my mind, you come into this area, I know exactly where you're meant to be going.
It's interesting that these bits they're able to spend the time and build actual mausoleums.
But at the moment you're in the centre of some ruined structure, so presumably this is part of a city or town.
Exactly.
Ooh, glowing symbol.
Let's have a look. Ooh, hello. No reacting there. Glowing symbol was round here, wasn't it? There we go. Ooh. Aha. It's like changed to the scarf now.
Yep, that's what I would have thought as well, but you kind of get to the hang of it eventually. It's actually made your scarf slightly longer.
Ah. Huh, there we go.
I'd forgotten just how loud the PlayStation can be. I don't use it that often these days.
More Scarf Friends.
I believe I can fly.
No, it's interesting that you bow down to them.
Oh, when you're charging your shout thing.
Ah. Showing reverence.
Did you see all the symbols?
Each one unique. The birds and the trees.
Fire.
Promethean.
So the implication there is that the mountain is some sort of god. The mountain created the birds, the plants, the people, and gave the people fire.
Yep. Am I not alone?
So it does separate into levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of a level.
That would make sense.
The levels do tend to tie into each other quite fluidly, though.
One area flows into another.
I think it's just to stop you having, like, going back trying to find things.
Oh yes. Find the hidden energy tank or missile upgrade.
Yeah, it's not a Metroidvania game.
So, what used to be pathways to another ring by the looks of things. Definitely a wall of some sort. And I'm not going to make that. Thank you.
The sand is undulating.
hello.
Ah, another player. So you see there what their symbol is. And you'll notice that when you're near them, your cloak glows to show that you're charging. So being next to each other, you charge each other's scarves. One of the points of the design of this game, if you read some discussions with the developers, is that you can meet other players and you can help each other, but there is no way to hinder another player.
Ah.
And everything you do, you can do without another player. And that player just helped you because they've just shown you what to do.
Yeah. Freeing more of our friends. What's that over there? Something shiny and glowy. Oh, another word. Potentially.
Yep, another thing that extends your scarf.
Ah. That's our friend too.
Yep.
More scars.
And one of the other things I love about this game is that you're in ruins.
Yes.
And this was released at the same time as yet another grey military shooter, where everything was grey and brown. And this shows you what you can do with grey, with brown and red.
Exactly.
I mean, there's greys, there's browns, and a bit of red in it, but it's still so much more beautiful than anything done with like Gears of War or Medal of Honor or Call of Duty.
Aha. Interesting. It also has a glow at the bottom of the screen when they're not in view.
Yeah, to show you where they are.
View.
So if they go off your screen, then you'll get an indication of where they are.
That is clever. See, for example, there.
Yep. I'll turn that down a little bit. There's another one.
Hurrah! We head over here, there looks to be more. Now, interestingly, looking at the design of this,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like some sort of bird almost. That's clearly a wing.
Yeah, bird, fish, kind of
Could be a fish.
snake-like. It's clearly animalistic
Oh, yes.
and filled with all these little pieces of scarf.
Filled or trap, perhaps.
Well, it depends. If we finish this game early, because it's not a very long game, I did also download Flower, which is the previous game by the same studio. Which we definitely won't have time to complete, but if we might have played briefly, and you can see in that they have a lot of those themes in that one to do with, like it starts out, it's very much, oh, he's flowing a flower on the breeze, but then later on it sort of becomes guiding the plants past the environmental hazards like electricity pylons and.
Oh, that's interesting. There's a little door behind there as well.
Oh, so close.
Oh, hello.
Another mural.
What have you got for us this time?
The structure's being buried in sand under a great wind.
Interesting. So, friend is now currently above us. Where are they? Oh, there they are. So I don't think I can quite make it from down here.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if I ever actually found that piece of scarf. So it's been quite a long time since I played this.
Well, exactly. I think we can move on. Don't need to 100% this.
I don't think there's a 100% achievement for this.
That's good.
I don't think it really needs one.
Things like that are used far too often for my mind.
I mean, it depends on the game. There are some games I like it for, because I like doing achievements. I think have a bad rap. There are some that I think are worth it.
Well, yes.
Example I always use is Prince of Persia when they did the reboot. I loved
yes.
that game. It was over too quickly for me. So once I completed it, I then went through and did all the run through this area in this much time, defeat this enemy using only this ability, all those sorts of things.
Yeah. That's definitely different.
You're right.
Oh, Foot's gone to sleep. Oh, hello.
You can see, because you both finish at the same time, you sit down together.
Look, I am your father. Revered grandfather, perhaps?
Well, the implication is that they are much bigger than you, that they could be
Yes.
either a spirit or a god.
Yes. Or it could be an ancestor and you're so far diminished at this point.
True.
That they are.
Okay, so they started building structures.
Ah.
They harnessed power.
They take the scraps and use them.
And they built cities. And because you finished the zone together, you start the next zone together.
Yeah.
If you finish at different times, you'd either start alone, or it would fight, or you'd be put with someone else.
Nice. Because if memory serves, that's somebody else currently playing the game.
Yes.
It could get a bit depressing at some point.
In what sense, sorry?
Well, when you don't find anybody there.
You'd be surprised. This game is very old at this point. This game came out in, gosh, be 5 years ago at least. Probably a lot more than that. I think I might have still been at university when it came out. And you still find people playing it a lot.
That's nice. That I like to hear. Gesundheit.
And one of the things is, there is no way to identify that person's PlayStation Network name.
Oh, good.
Until the end of the game. When you get to the end of the game, it will tell you who you played with, but you have no way of talking to them, you have no way to send them messages, you have no way of knowing who they are. The only thing you have is that single chirp.
Hmm. Oh,
So these are a bit different.
leading us on. Oh. It's almost like some sort of, not quite sand snake, but...
It's some sort of weird scarf bird thing. Its movements are more like that of a fish, really.
Hmm.
The same about colour earlier. You can see now that the sand's gone a slightly more pinkish tone.
Yes.
Whereas earlier you were high sunned, it was all golden. As the sun started to go down a bit, you've gone to a sort of more pinkish, decreased in tone.
Different hue.
But there you can see much clearer. As you were saying, it looks like it has wings.
Hmm. Certainly the camera angle that it chooses to put you into has a massive effect here. Oh,
Now you're riding one.
hey friend.
I like that they're quite clearly animalistic in nature and they do sort of behave in an animal way. Like, they'll play with you, but they don't listen to what you want them to do at all.
No.
So my interpretation of that image, if you look at it, is because before we saw like people, you saw like people crop.
Yes.
Now you see lots of crops and very few people. So it's implying either abundance or increased farming.
That's certainly the avenue I'd go down.
Yeah. Because the interesting thing it's doing at this point of the game is it's showing you evidence of all these, like this abundance and how they built these wonderful civilizations.
Yes.
Via ruins. Look at the sun.
That is a
reflects
sheen.
Yeah. I guess either they've gone away or...
Oh.
Yeah, that player's not there anymore, they're fading out.
Oh, they're just melting away.
I think because they left you behind when you were looking at the mural.
Ah. Oh, interesting. Stars shooting out from.
Yes. You know the Bell of Awakening in Dark Souls? And how when another player rings it, you can hear it?
Yes.
That would be other players starting the game.
Oh, interesting.
Well, not exactly, but it would be too much.
Well,
spoil too much to tell you exactly what they were. But...
It's certainly interesting that they're coming from the direction of the mountain.
The nice thing this game also does is if you ever get lost, just head for the mountain.
Yep.
It's your only point of reference. Well, that's bizarre.
What you got?
We've had no dropped frames so far this time, which suggests that whatever the problem we were having with Dark Souls is Dark Souls specific. Which is odd, considering we were running through a capture card.
Ah, friends.
So you see we've got more ruins, but these ruins look a lot more...
Dark.
Yeah. As we can also tell from the increase in cello.
Yes. Hello, percussion.
The score for this game won a lot of awards, I think deservedly so.
Yes.
Actually, if you chirp,
Ooh.
the chirp you make is always in tune with music, which is why it changes.
It's also heavily deafened.
It's the easy thing to do. We just make it so that you made a loud chirp noise, just like a one pitched note. But they actually made it change so that it fits in with whatever the current sound is in the world you're around. You're trying to get it to charge you.
Yeah. Don't think it's going to work. Well, there we go. So I think halfway up here. Ooh.
So let's see our first evidence of industrialization.
How they beckon you to come. Oh.
Trapped one.
So thereby give it the strength to
You
break
can actually
free.
see that one is now actually slightly ragged.
Yes.
And there's our industrial.
Hello.
And if you actually stop and you look at those for a second, do they look familiar to you?
Oh, yes.
You've seen that pattern on all those things on the ground.
Yes.
I like the implications of this. because you've freed a lot of those from
Yes.
inside the remains of these things, and then on the other side you see them being made, and on this side you see a lot of those things trapped.
Yes.
So the implication there is, well, where are they? Why are they there in the same place unless they're being used? So we saw earlier the great industrialization of harnessing the power of this scarf fabric material,
Yeah.
and then here we see these things that you've been playing with that seem kind of almost human. You can see a simple thing of your person you did it with completed the section.
Oh,
Because if you'd encountered 4 people, all 4 of them would be lit.
nice. Channeling, filtering, powering.
Refining.
Focus on that, but
More and more and more of the
Yep.
farmland becomes buildings. So the other implication is you're in the middle of this desert, but all this desert used to be farmland.
exactly. Turn to dust. Hurrah! And yet still the mountain is a beacon, shining through.
Yep.
Aha!
It's interesting actually, earlier you said that the orchestra was very Japanese.
Yes.
That game company is North American.
Really?
Yeah.
Although from orchestral pieces I've heard from Japanese composers.
This should look familiar because this is where you hit continue, this is where it dropped you.
Ah! How do I do a sick flip?
Down, up, down, down, left, right, circle, cross.
I don't believe this was published by Konami. Nope. $1080 this isn't.
Technically it is. Running at 1080p.
Hey! Get. Ooh.
I mean the visuals in this game are just so good.
Interesting.
You can see the sun has gone down further again,
Yep.
and the world is more twilighty than it was before.
No Midna, however.
I look
Hello,
forward to
friend.
it. Twilight Princess was such a good game. Oh, yeah, you found a friend. See how that your chirp now sounds completely different to fit the music that's now playing.
It's very clever.
That's what you just freed them from.
No, I'm just interested to what's happening. Just intrigued by the design.
It very clearly has Arabic inspirations, but it's not straight taken from Arabic architecture.
No.
There's certainly an amount of fantasy to it.
Oh gosh, yes. Do you think I'm going to make this?
I never have managed to get that one. I'm sure there is a way.
Oh, so close.
I actually, unlike the other one, I remember that one because I remember spending a long time trying to get to that one.
Oh. Oh, I think they've made it.
They have. Not even close that time.
Interesting. Where are they? There they are. Well, I guess maybe we're supposed to use those two.
That makes sense. You seem to be able to get very high doing that.
Hmm. Down, I guess.
If all else fails.
Falling with style.
Old reference. This is not SSX tricky. There is no bonus for going through all the gates.
Oh, I was just thinking that was going to result in a broken nose colliding there.
Yeah, but your character doesn't have a nose, so you're fine.
That is a benefit here.
Broken front of very flat face.
Does that help with the impact or not? I'm not sure.
Spread the energy out, but probably don't want to think about it really. So we're now full of these beautiful golden sand as the sunset is diffracting through it.
Much more ochre now.
Yeah. And then we get this visual, which is just
Ooh, hello. Going into gold.
you can see so much of the remains of that
Yeah.
Society now. You can see how grand the city was.
Oh no, I can't go.
You can't go in there now.
Worth a shot. Getting more and more red now.
More and more dark as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another falling star. Ish.
Now we are truly plummeting, and it's getting much more blue tone, much greyer,
Yes. Darkness is enveloping us.
and then
Hello, string section.
what? Sorry.
String section.
And now we are in the ruins, and we're stood in this last blade of sunlight. You can see from here it's just blue and grey.
Ah. The resource runs out.
Yeah.
Good thing this isn't on the nose. Fight over the scraps.
Yeah. The creation of weapons.
Mm.
Great weapons destroying cities.
Aqua.
They were just a little bit behind you because they didn't view it at the same time you did. When you sat down, they were still running around. Next level. And you are now the only red things in this vast white and blue. We're supposed to expect to be moonlight filtering through now.
Yes, that makes sense at this point. Can we look up?
I don't think you can look up all the way.
No, it's just filtering through the dark. Points of guidance. That you can no longer see the mountain.
Yep.
That's more like a bird chirp now.
Yep.
Perhaps like canaries.
Things with that, every week I notice with the window open there's a smudge on that monitor that drives me nuts, but normally without the window wide open I can't see it. It's almost like seaweed.
Yeah. Very much like seaweed.
So the implication, at least I feel here, is that these are growing out of the ruins.
Mm. Scraps left behind have just grown from there on in.
So all of the magic material, whatever you want to call it, that they've been harnessing to the point where they ran out, is sort of coming back out of the things that they put it into.
Eventually it returns and grows. Furthered more so by the presence of fabric jellyfish.
Yeah.
It's glowing. Oh, it's one of those.
So you see one that still has a bit of power left in it. It's interesting that the design of those has the appearance of crying.
Hmm. Ooh. That's not ominous at all.
So they built great, powerful, destructive things.
I mean, from this angle, it looks like they're smiling.
Does a bit actually, yeah. See, I knew it was coming, I still jumped.
They attack its weak point for massive damage. Where has it gone?
Somewhere under the sand.
Feeling very murky now, though. It's almost like some ancient temple that you shouldn't enter into.
Does have a bit of that feel to it, yeah. You see, they are very bird or fish-like now that you can actually see them moving.
Hear from the music, just the occasional bit of percussion. Oh. Seeing the ripples in the sand as it travels. Feel the instinct to hide from that.
Yeah. And the very metallic noise they make. But compared to everything else, it's been sort of soft chirps and all strings and orchestra. That very electronic, very metallic sound gives them that massive feeling of being very artificial.
Hiding from the Terminators. Oh, not even feasible to go down here.
One of the interesting things it does game mechanic wise, it's not told you need to hide them, but
No.
it showed you them
Yes.
destroying the scarf creatures, and you instinctively know.
Do not want. Keep to the shadows.
So there's one of those. So that's a question of do you want to risk it?
Right then left. Are willing to track them or not?
God, the tension.
Also coming up by the looks of things. Well, this looks like a choice of just go. Oh,
Oh God, they've both seen you.
interesting.
But suddenly we have all the gold light again.
Ah, a safe haven. Seemingly.
So now you're back to somewhere that has the remains of the power. You can see all of the people's spirit, as it were.
Each and every. The very design of that little pedestal as well.
Mm. You see that one person you were playing with made it through. So the little things lit.
They may have been with us briefly, but we must go.
And the dead stack up.
Mm-hmm.
And the sands come and bury the cities.
Yep.
I like this here, the sort of the compilation of like, and now we're building many, many structures again, but the structures we're building are graves.
Mm.
And
Ah.
from the sky comes you.
Interesting. That's just. At first glance, that could almost be a wreath as well.
The
Yeah.
person symbol.
Yep.
Could be.
The way it's framed.
One of the wonderful things about this game is because that's not how I interpret it, but it is entirely symbolic and interpretive.
Oh, exactly.
I love the lighting here, how you're the only thing lit as you walk down that corridor.
Oh. Aha. I feel honoured. Again, change of colour.
Yep, we're back to the sort of warmer browns and yellows and oranges.
Mm.
And Game Design 101, light leads the player.
Oh, yes.
Another person.
Ooh, a very long scarf.
Yeah. This is the downside to online play in some ways, is that this person's gone and they're solving puzzles and things for you. So enter you and all walking among the gravestones. The interesting thing as well here is that implied on the tapestry that you're making new things happening, or that that's a prophecy. And now you're
very much open to interpretation there.
And you're now floating in a ton of this energy.
So it's like a sea. Ah, very much so like a sea.
Oh. Scarf getting quite long now.
Mm. Oh, that's unfortunate. Where's friend? There's friend. They can't quite get there either. Updrafts. So what does the next one present to us? Uh-huh.
And two of you came to the city.
Yep. Jellyfish. Trapped little extension over there. Powering it up by the looks of things.
Yep. And the murals showing you escaping past all of the creatures.
Yep. Oh, hello.
There's a huge scarf creature.
Whale-like. Oh no! That's the design of the metal monsters.
So that raises the question of what those metal monsters were. Were they...
Well, definitely based on this, though. Because I can assume this is these are almost the natural creatures for the world.
There was your hidden thing.
And not the one that I think I saw, actually.
Probably not, actually. There's quite a few of them dotted around. It's the varying difficulty to get to. Can't even just bounce off its tail. And there's you climbing over that scarf part at the start.
Ah, yes. So is it a prophecy or a tale of what has come before?
Floaty bridge. So it's an interesting implication here is, are you in one of those structures that used to harness them, which is why there's so many of them here?
Well,
or
yes.
are they coming back?
With this one, I would actually have to guess that they're coming back to here.
Mm.
This was some sort of almost menagerie for them.
Another mural.
Ah, the descent.
Yep.
Oh, much more detail for the background now.
Yep. Well, you can see a lot more going on.
Hmm. Showing you the path. Ah.
So you've seen all you saw there your entire journey, and you see here
Well, you're
something
going.
it's not happened yet. You see this great wind blowing against the figures trying to climb the mountain.
Yes. That's what I was after.
You see you're now migrating from sand to snow.
Hmm.
Because you just travelled up a long way, haven't travelled down a long way.
as was shown in the mural. Somehow more desolate. Ooh, that doesn't look happy.
It doesn't. Oh,
He's falling, frozen.
You can see all the skulls are there, but they're even after you've just left them for a couple of seconds, they already start to freeze again.
Telling you of the environment you're in.
It's very cold.
Ooh. Hello, stereo.
Oh, we had a cable jiggle, have we?
Yeah, and now I've got stereo. I hadn't even noticed.
They were all very cheap audio connectors.
It's better for it. You can see the change of your own colour there.
You can see ice forming on your cape.
Hmm.
You can see as well, actually, because your friend there, his gear is all glowing, so his isn't frozen over as much as yours.
Ah, here's the wind.
See it whipping round the thing you're sheltering behind.
Oh gosh.
So now the journey's becoming much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Gone from like looking at pleasing scenery and casual puzzles to sheltering madly behind these pillars as the wind tries to blow you back.
But these winds are powerful enough to even make the snow ripple.
The gap between your shelter is getting longer and longer.
Yep. I lost stereo again.
I lost all sound, which is why I was fiddling with it.
Oh. Ooh. Well, like you said, they are cheap.
Yeah. The headphone amp wasn't, but the rest of it is. They trying to push you out.
No fair. Hacks. Well, there's one of my Garlics things. More gravestones.
One interesting things you can actually see is their cape is much more patterned than yours.
Yes.
That shows that they're a New Game Plus.
Ah. Oh, hello, Moon.
Hello, flying bird snake creature.
Oh, that's some sort of temple.
Turned on a heater. A place where you can just take shelter from it and warm up.
Uh-huh.
Secret mural.
Ah. War engines.
Yep. You see, in the cold, your scarf's depleted without you needing to fly. This looks familiar. You saw this from below earlier.
Yep. Wow, quickly the cold sets in.
You can't even fully defrost it with your chirp. And you're no longer fully keeping each other warm.
No. Oof.
Thank you, neighbour with car in need of maintenance.
Oh, hello. Ooh. Another one dead.
A bit of darkness here that you're basically sheltering in the corpse of one of these creatures that's hunting you.
Hmm.
You're up on mono. You got stereo now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Let's
Oh, hello. With crackle.
lean my phone on the connectors to hold them in place.
It works.
Yep. Sometimes a low-tech solution is the best. Might get an elastic band or something to go around there.
That might be the most expensive weight you've got there. I've no idea if I should have trekked out here. If it weren't for a marker like this, you'd have no idea where to go. It's almost as akin to sharing body heat, I guess.
Yeah, you're sharing that energy and using that energy to keep going.
More of them scattered around.
Yeah, we've dropped 0 frames. It's definitely something to do with Dark Souls that's causing the drop frames in the stream. It spotted him. I think he hit again in time. Or maybe he didn't.
Oh, blimey.
But he got him.
Oh, I see.
His scarf
Took
is now
some
much
scarf.
shorter.
Oh gosh.
I wondered whether that was going to come up or not, because obviously you've managed to avoid them so far. But his scarf's now about the same length as yours.
Hmm. I can see where we're heading.
See, they're being much more cautious now. They've been caught once. You now almost blend into the snow. You're so frozen.
Hmm. Ah, caught up. Oh shoot!
It's tracking
Not
them.
again. Friendo.
It couldn't track them through the gate.
Ooh.
Oh, it did.
Shit.
Where's a Tauntaun when you need one? Yeah, indeed, indeed, playing a snap.
God, it's so small now.
Scarf.
Yeah.
Remember, you started with that one.
Well, no, it's more theirs is so small.
Yeah.
Frozen jelly friends. There we go. At least their scarf does regenerate, though.
No, it doesn't. You have to get other things. I think it just didn't look like it was as long as it was blending into the snow.
Ah, possibly.
But you have to go and collect things to make it longer again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh. Big one. Or jellyfish.
But everything's so cold that you're struggling to make it even to be able to use it to get your jumps to work. It's not quite holding up.
Oh. You can hear it settling in.
Yeah, you can hear it crackle as it moves. Beautiful sound design.
Oh gosh, yes. Friend?
They've not made it yet.
Oh, there we go.
What was their symbol?
Have they actually showed it? I can't remember.
They must have done, because we've been with this person for quite a while now.
Like, huh.
But I'm curious what their symbol is, because when we get to the end of the game, we can then see who the symbol is.
There we go.
So stairs equals.
Like a fist almost.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's a vicious wind. Oh, friendo!
I knew it would catch them.
See, now they're trying to catch up to you and they're going to end up caught again.
Yep. I'll wait for them though.
They say you should probably wait for them if they're going to try and keep running to catch up to you.
They should be hiding behind that rock, I reckon.
Oh! Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Fuck it. Friendo!
Come on, friendo. I think they made it this time. No, they didn't.
Now.
Now what are they doing?
They were too late. They're not going to make it.
Oh, close, close. So close!
That few seconds.
Come on, stairs equals equals. You can nearly do. You can do it. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Celebratory chirp. Woo!
Let's warm their cock. Oh, hello.
And now you can't do that anymore.
Oh.
But you're alright. Oh no, they nearly went there.
Oh, hell. Oh, gosh. That's pretty tragic. No!
Friendo! I think you're going to have to leave them behind. What a time to leave them behind.
What's down here?
I don't think there's anything.
No, I think there might be. They're down there. You can get back up by the looks of things. So there's jellyfish. Come on, camera. Oh no, they're dead.
They're right down there.
Oh, do I wait?
There'll be an awfully long time. Oh, maybe not. There they are. Is that the same friendo? Try chirping. Chirp back, friend.
Gosh.
It is the same friend.
Oh, hello. Friendo!
Just the two of you against this epic weather.
The concept of jumping is no longer even there.
No, you can't charge anymore. You're too cold. I mean, look how rigid they're.
Oh, just look how quiet the chirrup is.
Yeah, and like if you look at it, like your outfits keep getting stuck in position and with frost, and sort of stick out unnaturally because they become rigid.
Oh, we're coming across the barrier here. Come on, goats.
Just stepping out, I might be some time. Wind's clearing up.
Still seems so far away though.
And you're so cold.
Chirp is barely visible.
See, he's really struggling now.
But the wind isn't there anymore.
Cold still is.
The light's barely gone, almost gone.
And with it, any sense of direction.
Where does one end and the other begin?
You no longer have any idea where you're going because you've lost your point of light that you were following.
They collapse, and so do I.
End of game.
You know what?
You'd be okay with that?
Yeah,
It would be fitting.
that would
It
be a
fitting.
fine ending. And fitting, actually. Kalima. Pathetic.
Well, these are either the spirits or gods, depending how you interpret it, that have been talking to you and showing you what happened.
Precisely. Are they welcoming you to the afterlife, or are they actually reviving you?
Well, they've restored your scarf. The question is then, is this a dream? Is this a dream of the gods, or is this actually the gods assisting you?
Precisely.
Is this your ascension to heaven? It's deliberately vague.
Oh gosh, yes.
And now we're into bright colours again.
Mm-hmm. The reds are redder and the blues are bluier.
But now you see where your friendo's massive scarf came from.
Your sound's travelling so much further. No.
And this, you feel like the motion is much more fluid, you're
Exactly.
moving so much quicker, there's this
You
full
just
feeling
feel
of
as if you
elation.
have to charge forward.
Well, I've been coming from the snow where you were already struggling and everything you did felt like the world was trying to stop you, and then come to this, it's this feeling of elation, of being pushed forward.
Freedom.
So it's, yes, you feel like you're being led more and you have to move forward very quickly, but the feeling of immense progress after what you've just been going through. I feel like I need to add a tag or something to my first streams that are just like, not game experts discuss game design as if they were.
Have you just described most streamers?
Probably. I don't know, I think particularly Dan and I discuss, and actually no, Tim as well, so yeah, I think all of the streams we do, we discuss game design a lot more than I think a lot of other streamers do. Dark Souls, we discuss a lot about lighting and level design, and
Oh, there could be massive conversations about that.
I am fairly certain a lot of like papers have been written at universities, game design, psychology, art, all sorts on just the design of Dark Souls.
It's one of those things that just game designs in general, they're not really discussed in a academic sense all that much yet, are they?
I mean, they're getting that way.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
this is held up in
This
a lot of
helps.
things. This game is a stunning in what it does.
There we go. The leitmotif.
The soundtrack to this game is so good.
Through the gate, we ascend. Turning into a beam of light.
We've almost made it to that pinprick we saw right at the beginning in the distance. We're almost there. scarf extension to your right there? No.
I'd be amazed if you got one this late on.
I would and I wouldn't.
That's fair. Then you're brought back down to earth. Or snow in this case.
Yeah, you're finally walking through that little cleft in the mountains.
Oh, perhaps is this... Look at what's missing.
What, your friend?
No, the scarf.
Oh, right, yes. You don't need it anymore.
No. But can you see from whence you came?
Probably. I'm not entirely sure. I've never walked back once I've got this far. It looks like it's all sort of blurred out by the snow.
Ah. You can't see through the clouds.
But your scarf's back.
Interesting. So I could, if I wish, just go back down there.
Oh, you can see the structures down there.
Oh yes.
They're obfuscated, but they are there.
Ooh.
And you can see someone else chirping. That's cool.
Now, is that my friend, perhaps, or...?
I doubt it. You left them quite a long way behind.
That's true.
So it might be another player, it might be the same player, but it...
It's just interesting trying to work out what was what.
Well, that's all going to be the snow structures. All the other structures can be really far out. They'll be below that cloud bank you can see in the distance. You Tyrion Lannister. Yeah, fading away as you walk closer towards the end.
That I do find interesting.
I'd never noticed that before.
Yeah.
I guess it's to stop you jumping at this point. And also to mirror how you started.
But going back to the thing, this is very much the hero's journey.
Oh yeah, it really is. It's only missing maybe one part of it.
Yeah.
Because there's, I can't remember what the precise parts is it absolution of the mother and redemption of the father, or is it the other way around? But there's argument over whether you have one, the other, or both.
Yes.
Is a discussion.
All the individual little voices.
As I said, there's a surprisingly large number of people still playing this game.
Are those the voices that people still playing, or...?
I think the symbols are just randomly generated. See, that's a beautiful visual. I could have that as a wallpaper.
So into the light and you are reborn.
Oh, there's another player.
Hello.
I think that could be your friendo from earlier.
Guiding me through. Now.
People watching, there's a beautiful white moment being ruined by us in the corner.
With the window right there.
Yeah. And there is one of the graves with your symbol on it.
Does that appear when you have walked through the light or when you have died?
Again, it is incredibly vague.
Which works immensely in its favour.
But here we go. I was telling you earlier you had the Bell of Awakening where you could see the light.
Yep.
And that's someone completing the game.
Reborn to help another.
Yeah, that's actually one of the interesting things this game does with design is that this now shows you your whole path.
Through the snow?
But with how the multiplayer mechanics work in it, see, there's always someone there to help you.
Yes.
If you get stuck, because it puts other players down. They're usually players who've played before. But now you have been led through. Now it's your turn to lead other people through.
Exactly. It works wonders, I would say. I feel sorry for the very person who played it.
I'm not. I played this game not far from release, and it was wonderful then. As it is
no,
now.
I mean more from the perspective of the very first person mustn't have had anybody to guide them.
Well, you had no one to guide you, but you still had other people to play with.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can play this game. Like I have actually played this game through and only seen people very briefly before. Particularly on the PlayStation 3, I played this through several times. I'm not sure how many. Because it's a very short game. We've actually completed it in
About
a little over an hour and a half. Little over an hour and a half.
Which doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, they say that the first playthrough estimation time is 2 to 3 hours. We were a little bit quick, but you had someone there to help you the whole time, and you didn't, and you deliberately weren't poking around to find secrets.
Maybe because to my mind that would have made a especially great streaming experience.
Yeah, I mean we do that with Dark Souls a lot. Like we deliberately don't go into every corner.
Yeah.
We should soon see a list of all the people who helped us along the way. But at least thus far, in my opinion, that game company, the people who made this, haven't made a bad game.
Like I say, this is their third?
This was their third game.
With the fourth on its way.
It's supposedly coming out this year. It is now September, and there's no release date or anything, but...
There is still the fourth quarter.
There is still the fourth quarter. This game is so beautiful. I agree, MXRX. It is...
Just throughout the design and the...
Also, the beauty here, that we saw these areas, but we saw these areas poorly lit, so now you get
now we're seeing it in full daylight.
Yeah. This is a classic example of graphics versus aesthetics.
Yes.
Graphically, this game is not the most impressive thing. It's not the highest texture details. It's not the biggest number of polygons. But I challenge you to say that something like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which has much better graphics, is a better looking game or a more beautiful game. The fun glitches in the massive out of bounds.
Oh gosh.
I've not come across any glitches in all my playthroughs of this, but...
Well, they're bound to be there. I mean,
well, you know, that's also one of those things that some people also will try to break the game, and some people just have bad luck.
Somebody just sitting there idly?
I actually don't know if the people you pass in the ending credits are real people or not.
Oh, I hope they are. Because that's pretty much the spot where you first encounter another player, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's that very start. And you land again. And it should tell us who we played with. Unless it came up very early in the credits and I missed it.
Don't think.
And that companions met along the way.
Boltco.
Trophy Uncrossing. I haven't played this on PlayStation 4 before. It's still I only played it on PlayStation 3. Rebirth because you started again. Cool Ray 2017. Well, I doubt you are watching, but if you are watching Cool Ray 2017, thank you so much for all the help. You were wonderful.
No, I do find it interesting, the little symbols, what you can read into them.
Yes, I like how unique they are, in that with very small number of pixels, you can do a lot of variation. It's very easy to just like drop one dot off and say it's a different symbol. But to have things that look that different, that you can immediately go, that's a different player, that takes some effort.
Yeah.
So, that was Journey. What do you think?
It is one of those games that should be played to show artistically what a game can be.
I have actually played this game just when I finished university. I moved back in with my parents for a while. Thankfully, I don't live there anymore. I would have gone mad. But I remember when I was there, I had my PlayStation in the living room, a PlayStation 3 in the living room.
Yeah.
And my mum came home from work one day when I was unemployed, and I was playing this. And it's one of very few games that she ever just sat down and then watched me play.
Ah.
Without any criticism of it or any, she just sat there and watched it and she found it interesting. It's this and L.A. Noire.
Interesting.
Because L.A. Noire, she just watched as a detective story.
Yeah.
She just watched it like she'd watched something like Poirot.
Ah.
Everything else I've ever played, as parents are, they're like, oh, what's the point of this?
Exactly.
But this, she found exceptionally beautiful.
My sister would come under that umbrella as well, actually.
Yeah.
She'd be very much in that camp.
So, now for comparison, if you hit the PlayStation button in the middle, and you go across 3 to Flower, you will need to close Journey, that's okay. And this is their previous game. We probably won't play anywhere near as much of this, because we're not going to finish this, and the stream's already been going for... Please don't die.
Oh.
We need you to pay rent.
Well, quite literally is.
Yeah. So this game does unfortunately rely on motion controls.
This might not be as nice experience. But we shall... Ooh. Okay.
Oh. Huh. It's kept my progress from... Hang on. Oh, never mind. You just play that. You got level select because I finished this game on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, right.
Whereas you normally would start with one bud. Yeah, that's not okay.
Are we sure this isn't L.A. Noire?
Let's close the application and... Can I delete save data from here? Add folder, intellectual property information. No.
Based on the fact that there were 3 flowers there, I would hazard a guess that the yellow, younger flower is probably the new game.
So I'm just updating the stream information. Flower, 0 viewers. That's not surprising. It will now have 3.
Yeah, looking at the design,
Oh,
that
God, yeah.
bud...
So back.
Yeah, because you're getting different choices.
Hold
So
on,
that bud is going to be a new game.
No, it's not. I'm trying to get to the bloody... Right, hold... Come on, I want to go to the options menu. Maybe the bud is new game.
Yeah.
That was an interesting noise it just made. It's a long time since I've played Flower. Long time. Yes, I think that's a new game. I think. This has even less text in it than Journey does.
That's impressive.
Is this a new game? This looks like a later level. You've got city stuff going on. No, this is the first level.
Okay.
So, bear in mind this came out originally on PlayStation 3, so we were used to you need to press a button, any button, to start the wind.
Oh.
And now the horror of 6-axis motion controls.
Okay.
They are horrendous. And that you can't use an analog stick is my biggest criticism of this game. So you'll need to push buttons to breathe the wind, and you'll want to fly through.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been a long time since I played Rogue Squadron. Let's just employ that.
So if you look at the wow,
Jesus Christ.
this is not how I remember Flower being. I don't know what you're doing. I don't think this is the first level, but it doesn't really matter because this is just to give you an idea of what this company's also made. This originally came out on PlayStation 3, so you can look at the visuals in this. They haven't really changed much from the PlayStation 3 version.
No.
And it is an early PlayStation 3 game.
Ah.
So coming from the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, this was unbelievable. The other thing is that as you go through the grass, each blade of grass responds to the wind separately.
Oh.
Which are just things that even the Xbox 360 couldn't do. It was basically done to show off the power of the PlayStation 3.
Oh, I see. So if you pull back, you get or just move the right.
So what you're supposed, in inverted commas, to do, you basically can breeze around do what you want, is the flowers that are lit up like that will blossom when you travel through them.
So I see.
And if you
pick up further petals.
And if you bloom them all, you finish the level.
Alright.
It's supposed to be a very relaxed, very slow, very... I originally played this on a third-party PlayStation controller with even worse motion controls. You see the grass here is dead.
Oh gosh.
And if you travel through all the plants in this grass, which is easier said than done, because motion controls, the grass will come back to life. Okay.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. Shout if you want to kill someone playing this. We can always play something else for a bit.
No, I'm actually kind of. I have surprising sticking power. Remember how far I got into Skyward Sword with motion control?
Oh, that game's controls.
Wonderful story. Fuck the controls.
I mean, this is my feelings on this game. Flower as a concept I love, and I've played it to completion. It's only, well, depending on how much you get along with the controls, it's anything from a few hours to eternity.
Flower to eternity.
Yeah, but I think it could do with analog sticks.
Yeah, if you could just control it with analog, that would make life a lot more easy. Nearly got all that lot.
Oh, another thing I don't know if you know about PlayStation controllers. All of the buttons are analog. So if you push a button harder, it detects that.
Oh.
So one of the reasons you might be suffering with how strong the wind is blowing is if you mash the button really hard compared to tapping it, the wind will blow harder.
Ah.
It is very different to Journey.
Oh yes.
But you can see some of the same themes in like the environment you're in. You see destruction in it, you see buildings in it. Depending on the level in Flower, you'll also get like electricity pylons,
yes.
Environmental like pollution from various places, rubbish left around. And then your job as the wind, is basically what you're playing as, is to bring the flowers back.
Ah, like so.
So now you've completed that ring, and in comes the wind to start that going, and it's cleaned off. It's a not particularly subtle way of saying, oh, isn't wind power great for the environment?
Now, to be fair, it is, but...
It is and it isn't. Like everything, it has its downsides.
Go title.
This came out about the time that physics was starting to become a verb when discussing video games.
Oh, I remember those times.
Where the people talk about how everything in the game was individually physicsed.
Yeah. Times we do not miss.
I mean, to be fair, the PlayStation 3 had an incredibly powerful hardware. The Cell processor has only ever been used in, I think, 2, maybe 3 applications,
Right.
which is the PlayStation 3 and IBM supercomputers.
Okay, that's just overcompensating.
It's very powerful, it's very clever,
But
it's incredibly complicated to program for. And one of the clever things the Cell did, I think the Cell that was in the PlayStation 3 ran 6 cell cores.
okay.
This is not a multi-core processor, it is a 6-cell processor.
Ah.
You'd have to get someone with a computer science degree to explain to you the difference, but there is a difference. But what it meant you could do was you could make a game like this that, say, needed 3 cells to process.
Yeah.
And if it was struggling, it could just turn on a 4th cell.
Oh, that's crafty.
And the beauty of that was that when you were programming multi-threaded programs, the music is really lovely and encouraging in most of Flower. Yes, it is. Flower is a beautiful game. A beautiful game with many problems, but a beautiful game.
I can definitely agree there. This is fun nonetheless. Oh, what was that? There's something in the centre there.
You see, you've brought life back to that area, and you've turned on another. Ooh. Oh no, you've brought some of those.
Uh-huh. Ooh, missed. So I'm finding it better just to turn it right round like
Yeah.
that.
You know what's depressing? The PlayStation 4 controller has better move sensors than the PlayStation 3 one does.
Ow!
That's more accurate than the PlayStation 3 controller was for detecting movement. It's awful.
That must be like controlling a rock.
Yeah, Sony pushed, like, basically they went, when the PlayStation 3 came out, they went, oh, we motion controls? Look, you can do motion control with that controller too.
I remember the move.
Awful. It's awful. No, they meant with that, but that was before the move came out.
Oh. The move was a decision they made.
It was a decision I'm not happy about because I loved the game Heavy Rain, and the
yes.
team that made Heavy Rain, rather than only make one DLC, and rather than make more DLC for Heavy Rain, instead they got shifted onto porting it to the move. That worked out well.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Ooh, oh, it's pushing you along to a new area. I mean, the PlayStation 3 as a console was a grand idea that was very poorly executed. I suppose kind of like the Xbox One this generation.
Oh yeah, that's a console.
This great idea that you'll have the Xbox One as a center, it will control all of your other media devices, but...
To be fair, it's very Microsoft.
I mean, from what I understand from people who have them, they use them almost exclusively to do things like stream Netflix. And it's apparently really good for that.
No, you can't go back. Interesting.
No, the wind's pushing you. Even though you're playing as the wind.
Glaven.
This is, considering we're planning to do all of Zelda, this is a horrible show of what's to come for motion control games. It's like,
I think I'm just going to hold it like this because I'm almost getting better control.
Oh dear.
What the fuck? That's a leap.
Ah, that game company.
Oh, we're getting a second chance at this.
Nice. Bringing you back through, yeah.
Now this is pod racing.
That was a good game as well.
Oh, we ought to break up my N64 and try that sometime. Actually,
I mean,
no, we shouldn't. Our eyes will hurt.
I'd have to find a way to connect RCA outputs into HDMI for the HD60 though.
Saboba!
I think they released it on PC. We can probably play the PC version.
That'd be... If they have, that'd be interesting.
Well, I never had an N64 and I remember playing it.
Ah.
I think you are still in control. You're just now a slow breeze rather than a fast breeze.
Slow more.
Thread the needle. Oh god, it's a slalom. Jeez. Engage motions. Let's play the whole game with the controller above your head.
Actually, let's see how feasible. No, let's not see how feasible.
You can see what they learned from sound design though.
Yeah, this is a bit cacophonous on this bit.
Yeah, whereas when they got to Journey,
Less is more.
yeah, when it got to Journey, they went to the extent that even your chirps were in tune. Whereas in this one, they just go, everything makes a noise.
Yeah.
Like a 5-year-old on a xylophone. You can actually see you've got much more petals in your wind now, and you're covering a much larger area as you go across. You're triggering more
Yeah,
flowers.
that's how I'm getting the additional ones.
Ooh, and that's your level end.
Ah. Come on, let's get some hay fever.
But you can see all of those. That grass movement isn't pre-programmed.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know necessarily. It might have reduced the processing for PlayStation 4. Because PlayStation 4, though it's more powerful, doesn't possess 6 cores.
Of course.
It only possesses 4, I think. Actually, it might possess 6. I don't know.
Fly, my pretties, fly!
I don't know. I don't know as much about the specifications of this generation. Actually, it might be 8 cores and have 2 reserved for the system, because I think the Xbox One does the same.
If I'm honest, out of all of us, you'd have the best idea.
I am the nerdiest when it comes to technology. And you get a little thing to show you've completed it.
Oh.
Which is why there's more on the other ones. So the next level would be red. Oh no, you've unlocked blue. Well, you probably want to do red first, but...
There are 2 parts to red by the looks of things.
I think that's just to show that it's been completed. I assume... Go, do the blue one. You've just unlocked the blue one.
Yeah,
I've got the red one now.
So, Cityscape. Very certain that brief.
Yes, from the brief thing we saw, yeah.
It's not like the oboe said otherwise. Was it an oboe or was it clarinet? I don't know. One
You
sounds like
have a better idea than me.
One sounds like a duck. That's what I remember from West Side Story.
Something I have thankfully never endured.
It's better than the 1990s Romeo and Juliet.
Actually, this looks like it might have been the first level. I don't know, it's hard to tell. This is this looks much slower and more relaxed. Yeah, I think this was the first level. We accidentally skipped one. So you were right the first time when I made you restart.
Yeah, this is more of an introduction.
Than the manic flying everywhere.
Okay, this is me. This is better musically.
See, the world's very grey and dreary. Colour.
So, have we just opened an Oblivion gate?
Yes. Someone informed Patrick Stewart.
And Sean Bean.
Were they both in Oblivion?
Sean Bean was Martin Septum.
You remember far more. I did not get along with the Elder Scrolls games anywhere near as much as you did.
This is true.
I was always more Fallout. They do not make it easy to.
Oh.
I know this is a really relaxing game just watching you go.
Really? It's fun though. Come here, you. Actually, are we dropping any frames from this?
We have not, touch wood, we have not dropped a single frame of this stream.
I mean, at this point, I'd consider this one to be more of a...
Stuff going on screen.
Yeah.
I think there's something to do with DS Fix, which makes Dark Souls output strange signals.
Ah. Can't worry, you sod. I think I kicked it. Ooh. So those must mean they're bomb flowers. Oh, getting more and more colour to the sky.
Yeah.
Ah. Stop putting those up there. Let's see how I got these ones.
So close, yet so far.
Yeah, touch it.
These are spreading some weird blueness around. I think the point of this game is just how beautiful can we make something.
Oh gosh, yes.
Actually, if you look at the way your petals move around, it actually is somewhat reminiscent of the scarves and things in Journey. I wonder if this game was made compatible with the PlayStation Move.
What's that thought?
It might work better that way, because the PlayStation Move was actually designed from the ground up for motion controls. Massive flop that it was designed at least that way.
Hmm. Hey. I'm half expecting for this to form into a giant petal dragon now. More colour is brought back.
That's one of those things, but you were aware the colour was taken out until that was that vibrant. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of colour that was missing.
Mm.
And it's starting to look a little bit like the Teletubbies.
Charge.
I'd hate to say it, but you're getting better at this.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
It's a valuable skill you've learned, just being able to turn a PlayStation controller as someone who doesn't own a PlayStation.
And probably never will. leads you on to the next. Now down to the Death Star. That was not great on these headphones.
No. But to be fair to these headphones, the sound is coming through my speakers into a cable, into a headphone amplifier that's splitting the signal into an extension into the headphones.
That we're getting this good quality, I'm surprised.
And they were really cheap headphones. Options is this one up here.
Ah.
So I guess yellow.
Interesting.
Or blue.
Yeah, it's a trophy.
Ooh. Night flower.
Hold the any button.
You are not a healthy man, sir.
One little bit just back of your throat. It's all right up in here.
So we're starting to see our first sort of industrial pollution-y stuff.
The anti-flower petals.
Indeed. It's just spinning because you're holding the control
Oh.
of the angle.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, that's pretty AF.
Flower-powered lights.
Flower power.
Damn hippies had it right. Oh, look, it's giant haystacks.
Jesus, man.
That's for you, and you know who you are.
That glow is weird.
They're like those. Remember fibre lights?
Yeah. They were a trend.
The 90s was a strange time.
Early 2000s as well, I think.
Ooh. Oh, God.
Oh god.
Nope, missed one. Oh, where are you? There you are.
That was unexpected.
Hmm.
I thought it was going to go to the thing to the right of it. I mean, did you see where you needed to go?
Ish. Oh, that's good. If you do an amount of it.
That sound came out the controller. I was very confused for a second. It's like, why is that? Oh, it's come out the controller speaker.
Oh,
Some games do it. I usually turn it off because I think it detracts more than it adds.
okay.
Like in Destiny, like sometimes you can have the ghost talk to you through it. It just, for me, it's just like this. Just reminds me I'm playing a game.
The immersion is ruined.
For me, some people find it helps. It's like when they added like the bow sound to Zelda.
Oh yeah. I know
For
quite
me,
a
that
lot of
detracted more than it added. So things are starting to get quite dark and dreary.
Bit angular as well.
Angles of the devil, didn't you know that?
Damn, isosceles triangle.
Was that the end of the level? I
To
think
the
that's
Nega
it.
Vortex.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit short, but I think we should probably call stream there. As it sounds like your lung is exploding.
It seems to settle down now, which is typical. But,
But
precaution.
for the last 10-15 minutes, you've been hacking up a lung. We've run for
Helps it's the right hand one.
We've run for about 2 hours 20 minutes. That's
pretty good.
that's all right. It's a little bit of a short stream. But it's not too bad. We completed
Yep.
Journey and we played some of Flower.
Have you had a good impression of what flower is?
Yeah, Flower's. I mean, you've seen basically all Flower is.
Yeah.
There's no ending reveal. There's no. I mean, you've flown basically you flew through like the industrialized
Yes.
areas, and you can gather what's going to happen. You're going to go and you return more and more flowers on, and
We'll have the medieval zone, the site of the...
yeah, it's not quite Crystal Maze, but you know it may as well be. Oh, let's not show my friend's PSN details there. don't know what they are. I don't have Spotify, so I guess it's just a default link-in thing. So, thank you to everyone who watched. We had a fair few at certain times. We still have... So, Dark Souls stream next Saturday may or may not be on hold. It depends on whether or not Tim is available next week. He wasn't available this week, which is why we had Will playing some things he hadn't played before.
Exactly.
There are plans in the near future for Will and I to do a consistent stream together, but we haven't quite...
We need to settle a few things need to fall into place first.
We haven't quite finalised everything on that one yet. Monday night is... So that's Monday, 8:30 PM UTC, is continuing of the Nuzlocke with myself and Dan.
You still got your looks, right?
Still have my Kitty. She's called Kitty ! In
Rightfully
all
so.
capitals. The same way my Bronzong, because he's a massive tank, is called Havel.
Nice.
So that's coming Monday, 8:30 PM UTC. I'll discuss it more with Dan, but I think we're planning to take a week or two off because he wants to play some other things. And I'm being a bit ground down by a Nuzlocke. I'm not a natural Pokemon player.
It's not really your thing.
It's not, unfortunately. So that's the stream schedule at the moment. So next Saturday, 4 PM UTC, something will be streamed. All going according to plan, it will be back to Dark Souls, but it might not be. In which case, expect something like this where we'll be doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Not a problem at all.
I'm glad that we could get you to finally play Journey. I don't know why I forgot the name there. It was fun.
It was. Good experience.
So we will catch you next time.
Ta-ra.
If I remember how... that
It's
button.
called Exit.